Phenomena. Phenomena. Phenomena.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Don't Be So Brewed. No beer this time, even though it's National Beer Day. Total letdown.
Pathetic.
Totally pathetic.
But we have water.
But I got water.
We will survive.
I even wore my Whiskey Help shirt.
Oh, man, look at you. So, Don't Be So Brewed, of course, is brought to you by Etches, who made us, of course, these sweet-ass, whatever you would even call this, like coffee. Was that like a Yeti coffee mug?
Let's call them Irish coffee mugs.
There we go.
Right?
For those of you on YouTube, you could check these bad boys out. I've now forever been, put onto a coffee mug in cartoon form. So
you've made
pumped. I've officially made it.
You've made it. You're an absolute Looney Tune. You're good.
Of course, we're also brought by the Specific Chiropractic Centers, Richardson, and Red Light Media. Hashtag cheap plug, because that's what we're all about. We got a bunch of cheap plugs last night too. That was kind of nice. Everybody was like, "Hey, we got to mention this." As you guys know, we're, of course, what Scott has coined the best new podcast of 2019. Good news. We jump back up.
What?
Yeah.
I knew it would happen. That last episode was strong.
Yep. So we're now the 285th most popular podcast.
Outstanding.
Out there.
Is that a record?
Statistically proven. That's a record for us. It's the highest we've ever gone.
What color record is that? Is that like gold?
No, it's like participation.
Okay.
That's its color.
It's like steps.
Blue ribbon record for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so,
we'll
of course, as we always like to make sure.
Maybe after this episode, we'll get there.
Right. We'll eventually be there one of these days. And
because you have two doctors on.
And of course, as I would like to, let me introduce our guests here in a second. I want to make sure that I welcome everyone back, as Scott loves to make sure that we do. We love to welcome you guys back.
Thank you. Thank you for watching.
Yes,
Thank you for
appreciate
listening.
all of our loyal listeners. Thank you guys so much for coming back. And if you're new, as Scott would always say, do something nice for your friend. Buy him a mug with our face on it.
Get lit.
There you go. There's another hashtag cheap plug for you.
And while you're at it, get one for yourself too, right?
That's right. I mean, why not get one for yourself? So on today's episode, there's a lot of dude in this room.
There is a lot of dude.
We brought in another bearded dude for this one. He's a good friend of ours. His name is Jason, but he's actually come to be known by a new nickname recently. Man, we totally skipped over everything. So people don't even know who our loyal listeners know. They know who this is. I'm here, of course, with my bro host, Scott Zimmy Zimmerman.
And what up?
And I'm Dr. Brandon Brown, a.k.a. Double B, a.k.a. Dr. B, a.k.a. Dr. Burgundy, whatever it is. And then, of course,
anything
Jason.
that starts with B.
Yeah, anything that starts with that. And then, of course,
we could go all day.
Jason here, who has now become known as Dr. A. Why don't you just introduce yourself by explaining where that even comes from?
So it's an honorary title I earned from years of practice and experience, mostly just being like antagonizing to most everyone out there. Professionally, recently, I utilized the Specific Chiropractic Richardson, and I happened to walk into the office. You were out for a couple seconds, so I popped down in your chair, repped, a Dr. B video. I just tried to do my best thing where I threw out, do you like an A or do you like a B? And it rocked it. It seemed to do really well.
Did he leave his phone out, or did you do this on your own?
Oh, it was totally on mine.
No, he did it on his own thing. So for any of you that know me, you guys know that I'm always posting questions and doing stuff on social media. It's one of the things I love to do. And so it's always fun to see someone that's like, hey, you get noticed, and then like, I'll show you from my angle what it looks like. I'll just give you guys a little preview of this. I've actually got the video on my phone here.
Dr. A here. Just today I'm trying to figure out what your favorite Little Debbie snack is. Is it Nutter Butters or is it Swiss Rolls? Just want to have a few minutes, talk to you about it. And just show you the office and tell you a little bit about what I have going on.
The great thing is no one is identifying with me in our neighborhood, our friends, that what I'm saying.
I can relate.
Everyone thinks my actions of Dr. B is the key in this. I think I won the community over by sitting in your chair first off, without you there knowing yet.
Yeah, you're in the spot.
And hand and arm signals. Like I was connecting with my audience like no one else other than Dr. B can. And I just owned the stage.
I mean,
Do you guys want to sit next to each other? I mean, what's up here?
You forgot the AirPods. I mean, he was almost willing to go to that level. He was like,
So,
I'm going to go.
I threw him in the pocket today just in case.
Just in case.
He ran to the restroom, and I needed to take an opportunity to like fill his seat.
Listen,
I wasn't going to make that mistake again.
I'm glad he said seat.
So-
Because it's Phil is.
So we went to a wine event last night, and I saw him there, and I walk up to him, and I'm like, hey, what's up? Congratulations to the person that has the most popular, one of the most popular here recently videos on my Facebook page. It already has almost 500 views, just so you know. So it was hilarious, and people obviously loved it, and it's now made Dr. A super famous.
That's amazing.
Thus, the reason I got invited to the best new podcast of 2019.
Exactly right.
Recently ranked 287 in the world of podcasts.
Listen, you're now a part of my marketing team. I just know if I need to say something, but I want Dr. A to say it instead of Dr. B. It's like there's even so many fun things we could play off of that. Like, who would you prefer to see, Dr. A or Dr. B?
2 out of 2 doctors at the specific chiropractic Richardson approved.
That's exactly right.
I love it. All right, Scott. So I think you actually have everyone's favorite game here queued up. We are going to start out with a fun little segment we like to do with our guests where we ask them 20 questions. So, Jason, hopefully you are ready for this. I put this on Scott to put these together. And you've listened to some of the first ones, so you know the questions that he asked me. You kind of know what you're about to be in for. So
I know Scott, so I don't know. I know that I am unaware of what I'm about to be in for.
Perhaps. All right, let's kick this off nice and easy. Slow ball down the middle.
Taking it in smooth.
Do you have a middle name, and what is it if you do?
It is Eugene.
Okay.
It is a family name.
That's my next question. Which marriage are you on? Are you still on your first?
The first one.
Excellent.
The first
yeah. Congrats.
All of us, I think. Are you, Zool, are you on your first still, or what number are you on?
Super pro.
Super.
I'm super pro.
Are you like a consultant now? 3.
All
one.
right.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Play.
Third time's the charm.
The table
Player.
here's got as many as Zool
I
has.
know, right? You
Right.
equal us.
We're just young. There's still time.
That's the first time you'll ever hear Scott say
He's got,
that.
like, a membership card.
Scott likes to take the old man with like a walker status on here. You know,
I
back
was
in
a
my
young boy,
when I was
let me
young,
tell you what was going
Uphill
on.
both ways to school.
people my age, my
Through the
generation.
snow, because we had that in New York, you know. All right. Favorite wine?
Oh, man. That is actually a really difficult one.
Maybe just like a style.
Would you like to phone a friend?
Whiskey? Does that work?
That works.
Okay.
Totally appropriate with your shirt.
Okay, good.
For those
Good.
of you who can't,
let's
who
gear
aren't
up.
on YouTube, Jason has a Whiskey Helps shirt.
So what is your favorite whiskey?
I'm a Jefferson Ocean guy.
Excellent.
Jefferson Ocean.
So let's say you're in jail.
You're in jail.
They're going to give you the needle. They're going to put you down. What's your last meal going to be?
It's not going to be pancakes or waffles.
The callback here, I love. This
And
is
there might not be
amazing.
enough time to eat
This is
peanut butter.
amazing.
I think I am going to go steak. Big steak, mashed potatoes, some asparagus, a little bit of lobster mac and cheese.
So you're going to throw some asparagus in there, even though tomorrow's not happening.
I like
You
asparagus.
wanna
So
have that
He just
in.
wants to have that one last pee that he's like, yeah, I knew that thing
Shit's
happened.
right.
yeah, right. So we're evacuating at the needle, right? So
perfect,
I've
yeah.
got to get one last payback to those
He's
SOBs.
like, as I evacuate, everyone's going to be like, oh, that guy's last meal had asparagus
There
in
was
it.
a lot of asparagus in that.
See, I would lactose that shit up. I'd be like, good luck,
See?
boys.
Oh, God.
Representing same
Better
mentality.
hope it takes on the first time.
Oh, my gosh. Yep.
It's that mentality, right?
Guys, we're already there, and we just started.
I know, right? That was, what, question 4.5?
Was I impersonated so that way I could get
Yes,
the needle?
you
or
were.
Okay.
It was, you were in prison for impersonating someone.
Yeah,
You were impersonated.
no impregnation, just
God.
If you
All
go
of
to
our
Dr. B,
diehards.
if you go to Dr. B enough, you will get imprisonated at some point.
All of our diehards love
Gang 'em
Jason right
cracked.
now. They're like, yes, all the callbacks.
All right, so I know the answer to this one, but our listeners don't. Have you been in the military?
I have.
And what branch?
Army.
And how many years?
Just short of 10.
Excellent.
Thank you for your service, as
Yes,
always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jason's
for my
got some cool
service.
stories. Jason's got some cool stories.
Should we save those?
Yeah, I know one.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
told
20
me.
questions?
After
Okay.
20 questions.
Age when you had your first girlfriend?
That's not what
Oh,
I
man.
thought he was going to ask.
Yeah, I think that's probably a second or third follow-up to this question, probably. But, I mean, like, I had, like, the first girlfriend, like, a fourth grade. Like,
Okay.
we say that we're boyfriend,
Oh, of
girlfriend. So you
course,
have no
yeah.
idea, right? Like,
Yeah.
but our lockers are close, and, yeah.
Did she know?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She probably initiated.
I don't
That's how
think she
girls-
dates
yeah.
boys anymore, though, is the problem with that one.
The fact that you still
Some-
know is amazing.
Some
That's
men
amazing.
have that touch.
In fourth grade, I mean, I was really good at that.
So my next question is first kiss. Is it kind of that same time frame, or did it?
Oh, I think it took
Evolve.
I think it took a little longer than that. Maybe sixth grade, something like that. For her, I'm not sure. Zool over there.
He's just far enough away where people maybe can't hear him. He knows what he's doing.
He knows exactly.
He's like, I know exactly what I'm doing.
Age when you lost your virginity.
Oh, I was a late bloomer. I was 18, 19.
Right on. I thought he was going to say fifth grade, like before he had his first kiss.
Before the first kiss.
That would have been interesting, right?
That would have been a new story. We would have stopped 20 questions for that one.
Right. We
Hey,
definitely
Scott,
would have.
everyone at this table has said theirs except for you. I think you should follow
Oh,
up.
I was
just
a
as
late bloomer as well. I was around 18.
Okay.
Yeah. We're not in Oklahoma. I know you're what, probably 12 or something like that.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't think
Okay.
Oklahoma plays by the Alabama rules, does it?
Close enough. I mean, heck.
Whoa.
As an LSU fan, I feel like I have to throw one of those out.
We got plenty of time. There'll be time for more. Do you have children?
I do. One. 2.5-year-old Colton.
Outstanding. In-N-Out or Whataburger?
Ooh, this is a difficult one. As a
Thanks.
Southern
I appreciate that,
transplant.
Scott. That's a throwback, too. That's an old throwback.
I am a
Look at him
In-N-Out
taking credit.
burger guy, but definitely not a fries guy.
I would agree with that.
The In-N-Out fries lose me.
I don't like the Whataburger fries either, though. They always taste so greasy to me.
See, I feel like I can go to Whataburger and I can get a good sized meal, Texas-sized taste of meal, but I think the In-N-Out has its own place.
Yep.
Right?
See, for me, I
Its
think
own
Whataburger
preference.
takes it except for the shake. In-N-Out shakes are they're ridiculous. And I like an In-N-Out burger. I'm not opposed. I just,
So since we're bidding for sponsorships for you guys on this one, Whataburger, the best,
Just saying.
the best shake out there is the salted caramel that Whataburger has during the Christmas season, but you can only have like maybe this much of it.
I
It
was about to
is
say, I think you told me about
absolutely
this.
killer. It doubled
will
me
kill
over.
you.
Yeah,
It doubled me
it's
over.
overwhelming.
But it's fantastic until you are doubled over.
What is your favorite breakfast food? Easy turbo. Control.
I am a waffle guy, so I think the waffle bacon type breakfast.
Right on.
Yeah, come on.
What is your favorite spot to hang out locally?
Locally, I would rep the Wine Authority if I'm not at the specific chiropractor, Richardson.
God, see, I
And when
love
that
this
just
right
opens, like I'm sure I'll be in there.
Oh, you'll be in there. There's no question about it.
now. All right, guys, if you want your sponsorships, just hit us up. I mean, dang, we'll bring
right.
Dr. A on here, and he'll just drop all the names. The Wine Authority,
Hey.
Whataburger, In-N-Out.
But here's the reality. This is the last episode of free sponsorship.
After that, everyone's going
just
to
gonna have
be,
bleeps
you owe
and
me
beeps.
money.
You'll be ripped
exactly right.
Whataburger here very shortly, right?
It's
Nope.
not fraud if we say their name and actually send the bill, and
Yeah.
if they pay, then
Right?
then we're good, right? Well,
That's how that works, right?
I
Totally.
mean, they are cheap plugs. They're not wildly expensive.
Zool's also,
We can make it
Zool's
happen.
also our lawyer. He's nodding, and he says, yes, that's confirmed contractually.
I mean, he's been married 3 times. He knows the system.
He's read a contract or two.
I know the devil by first name.
All right. All right. Boxers or briefs?
Neither.
Next question.
Well, Beth.
Through spots.
I'm
And only
I'm
one child.
I'm the,
Amazing.
I'm the jockey guy, right? Like the boxer briefs.
Boxer briefs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Ever smoke pot?
I have.
Inhale?
Define have.
Define have.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We'll skip to the next question. Do you maintain any security clearances?
No longer. No longer.
Okay. Favorite firearm?
Oh, I have a Sig Sauer 1911 Sig Spartan, and it is probably my favorite handgun out there. 45 caliber, big body, 1911, oil rub bronze, little Labe, Spartan head engraved in it. Yeah.
Nice.
I have no idea what he said. I mean, I like guns and I get it, but I'm just so turned on right now by how he just described that. It was like a nice wine. He was like, "Well, let me describe the notes of this."
I'm like in the middle of a bromeo sandwich over here. This is not a good spot for me.
It is Texas. I should have opened carried it.
I mean, I think they're going to go over to the specific after this. One of them's going to bend over, and the other's going to crack neck, and that's going to be
Listen, he's just nervous that you're taking his place. That's all it is.
That's it. I'm like feeling impacted here.
Like, oh, what is going on?
It's like, what is up here? Like, sleep one night.
You're in a doctor sandwich.
I am. Total firearms owned.
I plead the fifth.
I was about to say, I don't know.
Plead the fifth on that one.
I plead the fifth and support the second.
And support the second.
More than 10 or less than 10?
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
All right, more than 10. So if there was one individual, who would you say it is that has had the most impact on your life?
I think it was when Sinbad played a genie in a movie. No. So on the way over here, we were having a discussion of the Mandela effect. But I think, man, there's been a ton. But my grandfather, he was a military vet going in. I lost him early. Spent a lot of time like looking at his medals and things when I was a kid growing up. And at a time in my life when I went to the military, I didn't really have a whole lot of direction. And I think he probably spoke to me about like going there, finding it, and starting a life.
What branch did he serve in?
He was Navy.
Okay.
He was Navy. I just don't like riding on a giant gray target. All you Navy folk out there, more power to you. But I am not a boat guy out there for weeks on end.
Could totally understand that. What is one thing you feel you can't live without?
My family. Easy answer on that one.
First car?
1990 Plymouth Laser.
Turbo?
The RS Twin.
Right on.
Yep.
Very cool.
Little white and black.
It's funny, you don't see those really anymore.
No.
Not even the Mitsubishi Eclipse variants. They're just MIA.
Or the Eagle Talon.
Yeah.
All three, exact same car.
Current car?
I have a Porsche Cayenne.
Right on. And then the last question. What is the secret behind the chiseled beard?
Oh, I took 3 inches off of it yesterday in preparation for getting on a podcast.
What? You're like born that year. I mean, what's the problem?
I wasn't, but that's okay. That's not what I'm laughing at.
You had
I'm
to look
laughing.
at the
He was
Plymouth
looking
Laser.
at the Plymouth
looked it up.
Laser.
Listen,
It was a fun car.
I openly say that there's like some that I know about, and sometimes when I hear somebody say something, I'm like, what's that look like? I wasn't making that face at that. I was making the face at him talking about taking off 3 inches. Is what I was making the face.
Look, I am a guy who's got 3 inches to spare. So,
Not anymore.
oh, we're still talking about my beard.
Yeah.
I
I can't wait to bring Beth on the show.
Right?
in every relationship, there's a filter and a filteree.
Where did you
Right.
get that theory?
You know what? Some guy at a wine event was just bringing it up.
Were you there for that last night?
Uh-uh.
So I have a theory, mostly based on my own relationship, that in a majority of relationships there is the filter and the
Right.
one that needs to be filtered. So when you're out in public and you're talking and you're conversating with people, I tend to be the one that'll just say
whatever.
things. As you guys know, listening to this podcast, I'm sure you know. I'll just
That's why we're
speak
doing
it.
this podcast.
Exactly.
You need to have an outlet to just say random things.
100%. And my wife doesn't listen, probably for that reason, because she knows. She's like, the filter is not there, so I can only imagine what this podcast is about.
Those are like fighting words. My wife doesn't listen.
I know, right?
Wow.
Listen, we're gonna have to really
It's a
pull.
good thing she doesn't
I
listen.
want our wives to just like the first 10 minutes of one episode. Like, I just want to watch what happens. Like, is it a train wreck? Is it amazing? It's got to happen.
Well, they're our
time.
wives, so it'd be amazing.
It's going to be a bashing, is what it's going to be.
Oh, they're not listening, Jason. It's okay. You don't have to.
If you thought Dr. A was funny, when the missus go get up here, it's going to be,
Yeah.
not pretty.
Yeah. So this is basically my theory off of that. Of I'm obviously the one that needs to be filtered. My wife is the filter. We have good friends of ours, Casey and Carrie. Casey connects with my wife because he's the filter of Carrie. Because when we get together, we're completely ridiculous. Do you think that's the case in yours? So what I noticed last night is it's either, oh yeah, one of us is the filter, one of us needs to be filtered, or there's the Jason and Beth where you're like, we're kind of 50-50. We kind of do that for each other.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Within mine, I think we probably both need to be filtered, especially depending on the level of alcohol being drinking.
Consumption.
Yeah, but I mean, I could see what you're saying. I mean, as I look through people that I know in their relationships from what I see on the outside.
I just got to go back to that word really quick,
see that.
Mr. Imprisonated with some drinking.
Some drinking. That almost sounds Oklahoman.
I know. I must have been where you got that from.
It might be in Oklahoma.
Rubbing off on him,
You know, I don't like getting rubbed off on.
Or do
Well,
you?
Is that the reason why there's a glass opening in this table?
Maybe. That's why you had to take off 3 inches.
This is going south quick.
I think we've made it more than 15 minutes into the podcast, though, probably, haven't we? Like, that's
Yeah,
a new record for you guys.
It's got to be.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Blue ribbon there.
So what?
it's about
Participation.
So what do you think with
Final.
the Final Four, man?
time.
I mean, was anybody kind of expecting that to happen?
I didn't catch the first game. I guess there was some controversial call that happened that was either made or wasn't made on the Virginia-Auburn game.
Isn't that what makes sports?
Yeah, that's
Right.
I mean, you got to have some sort of drama to be able to talk about. Otherwise, what do sportscasters do for a living?
It's like one call. I mean, how many free throws were missed during the game? I mean, that's what I want to know.
And that's
Where
why
it
I
comes
always
down
go
to
back
that.
to is everyone's like, it's my fault. I missed the free throw at the end of the game. And it's like, well, what about the shot that was missed here or the turnover that
The
was
third
done
one
here?
in the
I'm like,
game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
There's a lot of moments within that game that if you secure those up, it's like you were never even in that situation in the first place.
So I was raised by the mentality like you don't let the referee judge the game on it. But I will say that I did see somebody on the Facebook post that that nobody, if we're talking Mark Zuckerberg's, but nobody had scored more than 65 points in the Final Four, and that was a huge letdown. So, I mean, there was new coinage of March Sadness. In it because it was
I like that.
because it was kind of a bummer end of this portion of the tournament. I mean, I'm glad to see Texas Tech getting in there representing the state, but at the same time,
And big for Texas Tech. I mean, this is the first time they've gotten.
so this was the first year that they made
sport.
it. Yeah, last year was the first time they made it into the Elite Eight. This year was the first time they made it into the Final Four, and now they're into the big game. And I know for them, talk about lower scoring games, their points allowed on average, I think I saw last night on the game was like 55 points a game.
Right.
So they're one of those teams that, defense does still matter. It is one of those things that's important, I think, especially at the college level. And I think for them, it could be the difference maker. It just depends on, Virginia. I don't really know a lot about them, but I know they're good. You don't just, skate to the end. I know that they can get the job done.
well, and you're number one ranked team. They're the only
Yeah.
number one ranked team that made it into the Final Four, or seeded team, I guess.
I think it'll be a good game.
I think it'll be a good
I mean,
game.
I don't think it'll be the game everybody was hoping for.
No, it could be bad. That's the thing is I think it could either be close or it could just be like
It's like
Tech
when,
can't hang.
it's like when your team and your second team don't make it to the World Series, and you're like, yeah.
Well, it all depends on what we turn out from
Then you just
injuries
pull a
on
Sarah
it.
Smith.
I'm not a huge basketball guy. I'm not a huge Texas Tech guy either on it. But big man rolled his ankle bad, and I'm familiar with the scenario of a good rolled ankle. So,
Is there such thing as a good rolled ankle?
I mean, I'm
I
wearing a boot
understand.
under the table right now, so
Just
it was
the
well
achieving
rolled.
of a good one. Yeah, I
did-
did it well.
I did
Das
it. I
Boot.
did it with intent, and I'm sure he went into the locker room, came running back out after he was carried almost into the locker room, and
Yeah, he was
so
juiced up.
so there was a 4-inch needle and an ace bandage wrapped around that leg, but at the same time, where's he going to be in a few days once the championship comes up. So you start seeing what your starting players that you've built the season around. I mean, seasons are long. Every sport seasons are long. I mean, you played football, same thing. Big game at the end of the season. You gotta suck some of that stuff up, and you may be playing at 90%, 80%, 75%.
I mean, that's what a lot of still staying in the range of sports is like. That's a lot of UFC fighters talk about that. They're like, rarely do you ever go into the biggest fight of your life at 100%. You've been training, right. And with, of course, their sport, it's like you're beat up. Someone did something to your knee when you were practicing jiu-jitsu. Somebody did something here. You took a shot.
It's fluid on a joint.
Yeah, and it's
stretched somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you've got to figure out. And I mean, to your point with the, there are going to be some limitations on some of that of like, there's really no point in you being out there, especially for some of these guys. Like we were talking about Zion whenever the whole shoe issue happened. And it was one of those things of like, what do you do? Do you call it? Because he's obviously going to be big time at the next level. And so I think that's one of those things you always got to find the balance of that too. Like, what's my career worth and me playing this game? If I potentially make this worse or don't allow my body to heal like it's supposed to, like, then what happens?
Well, so we're talking about this on a college level, right? LeBron hasn't played the last 2 weeks on it, knowing that the Lakers are out of it, and we've got the biggest name in sports right now, and dude's sitting on the bench. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you don't want to break LeBron for the future. They're trying to build the Lakers run. When I say we, I don't mean me. I'm not a Lakers fan, but at the same time, like you're sitting the biggest name that you're paying the most money for on the bench, and what is your intent on that? Are you just writing it off, hoping that maybe you can burn it and pick up a fourth round, the fourth pick in the league, because they knew they weren't going to get Zion. Mm-hmm. So at that point, you're just playing law of statistics, saying, who am I going to get? I don't know.
Speaking of Zion, they're all talking about him because he's going to come out. Everything's done. He's getting ready to sign a shoe deal. There's a website that you can go on and.
Did they say which way he's leaning right now on the shoe deal?
There's a statistic that says like which ones are the highest on his likelihood to pick, and I think you can actually place bets on this on like who will actually get
Vegas
him.
will bet on anything though.
Yeah, and I think Adidas they have in the number one spot right now.
I don't know. I'm still putting it on Nike.
I think so too.
I just don't see.
Exactly. I don't think they can pull it off. Even with the issue that happened with the shoe, it's like all he has now is leverage and negotiation of like guys.
I guess the mentality of it goes though, because at one point in time they were showing like 7 legit shoe companies were in the bidding for him. Like Puma was back in this, and New Balance was in this, and you got to look at it from.
Old man shoes? No offense to anybody who wears New Balances, but come on.
But you got to look at it from who already has prime
change
athletes.
The game,
right? Well, and if Zion's going to get
possible if you're willing to spend. No, but you got to shift. You're not
that
in
stuff's made in the same factory out in China somewhere. I mean, come on.
But I think Zion's going to be a guy who reps a particular shoe, right? Mm-hmm. You've got Nike; those guys, they have 5 or 6 star athletes already at this point that are prime to being represented on their shoes named specifically after them. So do they have the money? Do they have the marketing ability? And somebody like Zion coming in, this is the equivalent to LeBron going to LA for the second half of his career, right? Like he didn't go to LA to win no more rings. He went there, rings are being, a little bit of icing on the cake. He's going out there to start Space Jam, start his media company, to do all of that stuff. So Zion's looking at this like, where do I go and get all of the attention on me? Mm-hmm. So if I take New Balance, New Balance may be a $900 million company. I don't know the numbers, but is he going to get most of that marketing money? Where if he's going against Nike, that has Trout and LeBron and Russell Westbrook and all those guys, he's going to get 10-20% maybe of that marketing futures on.
Well, I was about to say, and maybe he can leverage it. I know a lot of people nowadays, when they want to leverage stuff, it's like they want a small piece of the company. Like, what can I get? Like, there's a lot of people now trying to get in that stuff, and they want to be able to leverage those things, obviously, to improve their end game.
And I'm willing to bet that some piece of this also has to do with the product itself. Like, is he comfortable enough wearing
and blowing it out, right?
those shoes on a day in, day out basis when he's playing? I mean,
I'm curious about what he wore after the injury when he came back. Like, did he stay in Nikes?
He did stay in
then,
Nikes.
That's pretty easy to explain right there. I think the
that
other
was
company
school choice. I'm pretty positive.
probably, yeah. I'm sure there's school pick. I think the actual most likely second pick would be Under Armour, and the reason I say that is because Under Armour swooped in and picked up Steph Curry when Nike were big dum-dums, and they brought him in to do a presentation, and they had some other player's name on the thing, and they didn't even call him by his name.
That's awesome.
So they screwed up big time, and he was like, wow, really? And was like, I'm out.
So maybe you guys could explain something to me. I know sneakers among athletes have become pretty popular, and for years now, folks collect them and so forth. What is the significance? So I catch these videos on Facebook all the time where the players at the end of the game, they're taking their shoes off, they're signing them, they're giving them to a kid.
Right.
What's the significance of that? I mean, is it just like nice gesture?
I think it's
is it media?
Big Joe Green's jersey, right? Like I think it's right. Yeah, I think it's getting
it's the significance of that. It's an item. It's a thing that it's a story essentially. You have something to tell your friends about, or eventually your kids, or something like that. Like take LeBron James for example. If somebody in high school convinced him to take and did all that, it's like, LeBron James, arguably one of the best in the NBA of all time.
Right.
I have a shoe from the state championship game that he won. That's a story piece. That's something, for your man cave or whatever it is that
like,
you could.
I get to go to college for free, or is that like?
Well, I mean, perceivably, I mean, everything's on eBay. eBay's got a strong marketing
and that's the
return
thing
on it,
too.
right?
You could take that and
what's real, what's
try
not,
to flip
right?
that. I mean, that's something you could probably take to Etches too, and just have them put something cool on there. I mean, right?
Yeah, we could forge anything, really, right?
So
we went too long without a sponsorship
ethics,
drop. Okay.
I mean, we had a.
Well, I think we need a new sponsor for you guys, and I'd ask why nobody even brought up Big Baller Brand in this opportunity. So Lonzo left.
Yeah, they're in big time. All of them left right now.
So I mean, got caught. This money was being stolen out of his bank account. So I mean, Big Baller Brand. Are we seeing the implosion of Big Baller Brand?
Well, so Big Baller Brand was technically all built off of Lonzo anyway.
Right.
And his dad, just being smart with having a big mouth, was able to
smart. Quotes. On that one. YouTubers air quotes smarts.
SMRT. Smart.
I am so smart.
Listen, I get it. You could say the Kardashians are done too, but they can say that they're dumb all the way to the bank. So
they have $1 billion empire at this point, though. I mean. And what does Big Baller Brand have? They have 2 kids who can't even go to school anywhere because nobody will take them. So
and that's because I feel like everything was all about the sports. It wasn't anything about education or ever any of that stuff. So it was like, you can't play ball
what
here.
It sounds like, right?
What's that?
Good opportunity for Zion.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, what? Big Baller Brand gets.
I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna take over.
Tag on to the next hot guy. I mean.
Well, I mean, you're talking like the stuff with the Ball family is. I just recently saw this. Like, basically, Lonzo's agent. There's like a little over like $1.1 or $1.5 million missing. That
I think it was doubled that. I think it was like 2.5. That was missing from his actual bank account.
There's probably more now, but it was like, listen, you're taking money from me. Like, he even posted a picture of him. He had like the triple B's on his forearm, and he went to his tattoo artist and had it covered up. Like, this is how.
You know why? Because double B is where it's at.
Yep, that's right. It's not the triple B's; it's the double B.
No, I think Bron's getting in his ear. Like, I'm getting ready to start this production company. You're playing on my Lakers team. Like,
why the hell wouldn't you?
Right? That's my thing. You come be in Space Jam and be the evil guy.
What is that like? You got to divorce your dad? I mean, what happens there? Because
that's why you don't do business with your family, in my opinion. Not like that, anyway.
Oh no, I don't. And see, that's his situation. I mean, he's just in contracts now. I mean, he's not emancipating himself by any means, but he's just decontracting and rolling over to the next guy.
And listen, it's also tough when all of your crap is on the table. It's not like, hey, we can hide any of this. It's like they're openly putting their family out there in order to stay relevant and keep people talking about them. And it's one of those things of like, obviously, when this goes on, people are going to talk about it because it's
a model that works. It does. Not for
It depends.
everybody.
Yeah,
but
not for everybody. I would say it depends on the situation, right?
Yeah.
Like this is very much the Kardashian model, save the porno, and so the situation. So I just believe that as a family entity, in that like he's probably just in a bad place right now where he doesn't know who's there for him. I mean, you see videos of them before where all he ever wanted to do is play video games and play basketball. The kid probably doesn't have much to go forward on from this. I mean, just dad took care of everything for him, right? So what is his self-awareness in the situation? Does he know what's going on, or was he just signing because dad said sign?
Well, and I think you brought up a good point with being around LeBron. You want to talk about a guy that's really intelligent when it comes to being off the court and building businesses and building brand and doing all these other things. You want to talk about being around a guy that's like, whoa, I'm learning a lot from this guy. I'm probably picking his brain. I'm talking to him a lot. And it's like, dude, why are you doing that?
It's kind of to do something with your fame.
Yeah, it's like everything is built off of you. Why are you letting that become a thing? Why isn't this more about, because we want somebody to take on the ball boys. No one's going to do it. Fine, we'll start our own brand. And like they have built a following and created these people that want to buy all their merch and all their products and all that stuff. But it's one of those things that now if he's not careful, like something's going to have to happen pretty soon. I would assume that corrects this, or it's just going to be like, this is the end of it. Like it has to either be a big shift to fix it or I just see them going down. Like, I don't see how you pivot from that. And it's like, it's fine. We don't need Lonzo. I'm like, how do you not need Lonzo? He's the only one that made it in the NBA.
He's the only one making money at this point, right? Yeah.
I mean, all you did, and listen, I'll give LeVar the credit. He created the junior NBA, which is essentially was a place for another breeding ground for athletes that were good that needed another area so that they could mature to be able to move on to the next level as best they can. And everyone thought he was crazy to be able to do this, and he pulled it off. It exists. It's a thing. But it's one of those things, like, if that's ethically who you are and that's what it's all about, like, and we don't know all of the story. Like, who knows, there could be issues with LeVar not being happy with this guy that's been representing them. Maybe that's what's causing all the issues, is it's the sports agent that's representing them, and it's,
I'll tell you, though, I mean, Papa's got a strong hustle.
Right.
You got to respect him for it. Does he do things the way I would do in the public spotlight? Probably not, but it's a page out of the Trump book, right?
Right.
News is news, be it good or bad. If they're talking about you,
free marketing,
then
right?
It works. I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Humble plug, cheap plug.
Humble plug.
That's
cheap
right.
plug.
Humble plug. We don't have any of those. We're all out of those.
Speaking of which, visit no.
It's humble pie, not humble plug, right?
All right, Jason.
Okay.
I got a question for you. There's a lot of testosterone in this room right now.
I'm sorry I brought it all with me.
There's a lot of man meat in here. There's a lot of beards. There's a lot of dude sweat.
Man meat.
What's the least manliest thing you're into?
The least manliest thing I'm into?
Yeah, what's something that's just not seen as manly that you're like, oh yeah, I'm all about that. It could be almost anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a I trimmed 3 inches off my beard or anything like that. It could be.
Or I shave my arm hair or anything.
I think I'm cool with sitting and watching some of the reality TV shows with my wife. Like, I think that
Which ones?
Yeah.
Come on now.
I'm feeling a Desperate Housewives coming on.
It's not a reality TV show.
No, you're thinking
You're
of
thinking
Real
Real
Housewives,
Housewives.
which is what I was thinking.
No, so I was a huge objector for the longest time with like the Jersey Shore, things like that, and then I fell into that, and then some of like the.
Are you into Vanderpump Rules? Is that your...
No.
A friend of mine really loves that show, and it makes me laugh. It is so
you're
hilarious.
watching 90s MTV reality TV?
First off, they weren't 90s, right? I think I was getting on the military.
Everything's old to Scott, remember Scott's old, so back in his time, that was the 90s. Everything was the 90s.
Back in my day.
Yeah.
No, I think it was...
I was watching MTV before you were allowed to. Continue.
I was watching MTV when the first video played.
I don't know what that voice is. I'm just used to Gilbert Godfrey, so I'm not quite sure.
I don't have a Gilbert Godfrey, so...
Gilbert didn't come out last night. I was kind of disappointed.
I was just chilling last night.
Mm-hmm.
No, so we'll watch, like, the cheesy, like, Floribama type thing with her.
Yeah,
yeah, so... Still the MTV ones. Like, we don't watch... I think it's my trade-off to watching my car shows, though. Like,
Does she sit there and watch them with you?
Well, I think she plays with her phone, and she sits there with me. I mean, that's the dynamic of a 2019 relationship, is it not, Zool?
Like when we're watching what she wants to watch, like, are you paying attention?
Is this how relationship number 3, marriage number 3 is working for you right now?
Ding dong.
Anybody want a marketing and advertising lesson? When sporting events and shows like that are on, you should probably be posting, because guess what? You're probably trying to target the wife, and guess where she is?
On her phone.
You're welcome.
I like the surround sound.
Cheap advice.
Yeah, that's right. Or wait, no. Scott, you got one? He's probably not going to have anything. Listen,
Oh, everything about Scott's manly.
he couldn't let that be out, because then he would be less.
He knows, man. I don't really do anything that's not manly.
Such bullshit. There's no way. Everybody's got
I
something.
mean, you guys know me.
You don't even like
Probably just drinking wine, I guess. You know, I don't think that's.
I don't
viewed
you don't
as
spend
manly,
time
per se.
practicing dance moves.
No, I mean, kids' talent show might have been as far as I've gone out of my comfort zone. I am not much of a dancer.
There's got to be something.
As you all have seen.
As Zool sits over here shaking his head, because we know Scott's stories make our viewers leave the podcast. So if you want to just skip forward about 30 seconds, we'll get you to something better. So I apologize.
Wow. You cut me deep, man.
So
Wow.
Talk shit about Oklahoma and see if you can handle that.
well, in all fairness, like
Handle
that was the funny joke.
Maybe that was the most female thing I've done is driving through Oklahoma. I don't know. I mean,
That was the funny joke when I did my
You better watch out.
Dr.
Oklahoma,
A video.
Take care of him.
Scott walks in, and I told him, I said, I like this podcast because it's only about 27 minutes long. I just forward through all of Scott's stories, and it improves how quickly I can get through them all.
It's perfect.
that's right.
So listen, since Scott is the manliest man that's in this room, so I mean, and you can consider this this is just what I thought of, and I know a lot of guys that would never admit it. Like, I
Shave my legs, he says.
no, I don't need to.
Higher.
I don't.
Oh no!
Fine.
Turn
need
your
to.
YouTube video away.
Don't look. No, I have always.
Where's the filter when we need her?
Oh my gosh, right. I've always been into boy bands. I secretly wanted to be in one when I was younger. So it's one of those things for me that almost anyone that you can think of, there's probably some song of theirs. I'm like, I like that.
That explains a lot.
It does explain a lot. It really does.
I mean, listen, Desperate Housewives over here can say whatever he wants, but Mr. Manly Man,
Which is still a scripted TV show.
I mean,
It's
I'm-
definitely
they're
I'm
all
like-
at this point.
I'm
yeah,
like
at
looking
this
at
point.
Zool and I could see his testicles just moving up to his belly. Like
I
it's
think
just-
Zool
winching
left
up.
for a beer run. Actually, he's been quiet. He hasn't made enough fun of Scott or Brandon specifically either. So
Listen, I'm just comfortable enough to be open about it and admit it. And, it was a question I wanted to bring on here. And I'm like, oh, we'll see where everyone's at. How comfortable are you talking about the fact that, hey, I'm kind of into this?
I think that should have been a Facebook Live video for him. I think that's
That we might have to have a Dr. A, Dr. B collab on that.
we have to.
But
we have to
obviously,
space
Scott won't
these
be able
out.
to comment. He'll just throw some GIF
I'll
on
just
there.
be like, I'm just too manly for this conversation. I don't know. I'm just a typical dude. I get my hair cut when it needs to be cut. I mean, I don't go to a barber, not a hairdresser. I mean,
And I
Talk
cut
to
it
me.
with a steak knife
Yeah.
by looking in the.
And I don't ever eat salad.
I cut it.
And
by,
I don't like vegetables.
I cut it
See,
by
I
looking in
drink
the
my
rearview
coffee
mirror of my
black.
truck.
And I don't trim my toenails. They trim themselves.
That's how I get steel-toed boots.
right? I mean, yeah.
That's right. Sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Some pretty heavy breathing you got going on over there.
Listen,
Dr.
I'm just
B.
trying to be as manly as you. It's hard. It's hard
It
to
is
be as
hard.
manly.
I don't have the
as
headphones on. I
Zimmy,
can't. It can't turn me on like it does Scott.
You know. Oh my gosh.
Sick puppy, man. Sick puppy. So you put that silly post up.
Which one? Oh, you want to talk
Yeah,
about
which
that?
one?
I want
You
to talk about your
wanna-
PopTart
You want to get this
ravioli
one?
nonsense, yeah.
So this was a fun one that you guys know. I've now added a new title to what I'm doing. It's called Professional Pot Stirrer.
Professional what?
Pot stirrer.
Pot stirrer? Okay.
Yeah, I know there's people that always get pissed or be like, if you're going to stir the shit pot, you got to lick the spoon. No, I'm okay. I'll let Scott do that. But I consider myself a professional pot stirrer.
I'm too manly for
I like
that.
to go. I'm too manly for that.
I don't let spoons get anywhere near these lips.
You can lick your own shit spoon.
Whenever we make T-shirts, that's what they're gonna be. I'll just have whatever, and then Scott will have one that says "I'm too manly for that."
On the back of
manly for
Brandon's,
that.
it'll say "I'm a little teapot."
I think I've just come up with a new segment where I'm just gonna name
Are
things,
you manly enough
and
to
Scott's
do?
gonna say, "I'm too manly for
too
that."
manly.
We're just
No.
gonna have a new game. It's called "Are you too manly for that?"
The back of Brandon's is going to say bye, bye, bye.
That's right. Listen, all of our female listeners really enjoyed that. So, if we have any, we're really not sure if we have
What's
any.
left of
I
that?
know. We're not sure that we even have any left after Scott was sharing the
I
story.
mean, we
but
had one. Then you did the.
Was that his mom? That's the reason why the review got written?
That's right. My mom
Right?
did leave a review.
So we got
She thinks I'm
one.
funny.
You got one.
We got
right.
one woman.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Shout out to Mom. That's why I'm here.
Hashtag Dr. B Mom.
Listen, this podcast exists because of my mom.
Mom,
Now I'm just doing it because I know
Mom.
Scott really doesn't like it.
I'm too manly for
Bother me.
Okay, so let's focus up. We'll
Fun, Mama's
try
boy.
to
What do you want me to tell you?
we'll try to end on this. Actually, as a matter of fact, we got to make sure that we end on this water thing because I got to make sure that we do that. So at some point, I'll bring those over here. You guys can switch them up because I looked at them and I can already think I tell just by looking at them. So I'll close my eyes. You guys can pass them to me. We'll go over that in a second. The question that Scott wants me to bring up is one that I posted yesterday, and it's, is a Pop-Tart a ravioli? And I jokingly did a Facebook Live right after that, and I said, a Pop-Tart is a ravioli. Changed my mind. I got that from someone else who had posted that, to be honest.
Pop-Tart's official statement is a ravioli is a Pop-Tart, per our discussion. So.
Of course, just flip it around and be like, well, actually, it's all about us. It's the fact that...
Well, I guess they're name branded, right? Like, not every big TV in a stadium is a Jumbotron, right?
True.
Yeah.
But we call them that.
Hey, someone's got to be first, right?
So, Scott, I don't think you've given your answer officially yet.
Because I think it's just a stupid question, and I stated
There are
that
no stupid
online.
questions. My teacher taught me that.
No, I'm real
That's
good at
right,
stupid
Jason.
answers too. I said boil a Pop-Tart and let me know what you think. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty.
So
simple.
anything that's a ravioli requires boiling. Like
Nope, there are baked raviolis.
ipso facto.
But they
like,
usually get baked after they've been boiled.
Nope, there are baked raviolis.
Yup.
No,
do you-
you can make
Zool,
from scratch
talk to me.
baked raviolis.
Really?
Thank you.
Sometime in the kitchen, you'll figure that out.
and I
I'm
would.
too manly for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
See, that's our new segment. I'm too manly for that.
bazinga!
That's a new segment. I'm telling you. Be like, all right, I got some questions for you, and all I need you to answer is, are you too manly for that?
Are you too manly for that?
Pedicures.
I'm too manly for that. Riding a spaceship to space.
So, but
Not
like,
too manly for that.
so even Daniel yesterday called out a pierogi. I mean, that's a closer is a pierogi or ravioli.
I'm a huge advocate of the cube theory, though.
I was
And
about to
that-
say,
which was-
someone shared this yesterday, and I'm like, the cube theory is
blew
amazing.
my
Theory?
mind.
Okay, talk, enlighten us.
So the cube theory, if you guys want to look it up, I'm sure you can search it. It's someone that created this whole thread that explains the fact of, if you look at how a cube in 3 dimensions and it has all these sides.
6 sides.
Yeah, if you look at all the sides, essentially, depending on how many sides something has, that's how you would describe it. So the first division is only just the bottom layer, which they classify as toast. So
Anything that has one layer is a toast.
one layer underneath as a crust. So a pumpkin pie would be toast. A pizza would be toast. The sushi that we had talked about was an example.
Like
Even
the
though
grill or
sushi is its own, sushi is its own category later. Then there's sandwich. So it's one layer on bottom, one layer on top.
See how we're building
Lasagna.
this cube, Scott? Or are you too
Lasagna is
manly
one
for
of the
that?
crazy ones that they say is a sandwich because it's like it has a layer on top and a layer on bottom.
So a sandwich doesn't define as something you have to eat with your hands.
No.
In that
It's
situation.
just it has crusts on 2 sides.
It's all just about where the crust is on it, so where its surroundings that are encapsulating it. Then you have the taco, I think was the third one, which is a
3-sided.
taco, a hot dog,
apple pie.
if it has the crust on top because it's got 3 sides on it, so that's technically...
So what about pizza though? Like it depends how you eat it as to what you would call
Well,
it.
a deep
right?
dish pizza is actually
No, I'm talking like about real pizza, like the one that like a thin crust where you fold it and eat it like a
This is
normal person.
unfolded. If it's flat, it's toast.
But if it's folded, it's a sandwich.
Correct.
If it was folded, and then it would have to be closed, and then it would be a calzone. That's when you start going to
No,
that.
it doesn't have to
Because
be
it would
closed,
break.
but it could be like a taco, right? I mean, if you fold it.
Yeah, but
you
then if
folded
I
it,
wipe my ass the other direction, it's we can.
This is cube theory. I mean, I'm
Listen,
just
this
asking
is the guy over
questions.
here that's like, I think this is a stupid question. And he's like, well, if I eat my hot dog upside down, then
Sharpshooter over here trying to blow holes and everything.
No, I still think the Pop-Tart ravioli thing's a stupid question, but this cube theory, you've intrigued me a little bit, so I'm asking some questions.
So
like,
you look at it from a very simple perspective of a cube is everything, right? So you just grab, and then the fourth one, which I found really.
So I'm sure the
interesting.
standard is without Scott's hands on it as it's
Let him
sitting on the
talk.
table.
Can you just let him talk?
So
Jeez.
the fourth one becomes sushi, right? If it's four sides, and I think that
If it's four sides.
it's a sushi, right? Like a roll, right? So you would.
It's encapsulated, but it's open on the ends.
Yep.
Okay.
So soups, next one, 5. Basically, you
So
build
it's
a
everything
bowl,
around it and the top
top
which,
or bottom or whatever, right?
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the examples of that. It was like a bread bowl. It was God, what were the other ones?
Would anything that could be served in a bowl would fall into that, or no?
No, because so at the end they actually say salad, right? So salad has nothing.
Salad has no parameters, so it has no surroundings.
Therefore, a steak is officially a salad.
They're like a steak, mashed
because
potatoes.
it has no crust.
Right.
Like it has no added
I could buy
crust.
that.
Right.
So I think in a testosterone filled environment that we're in right now, like we can all get behind steak as a salad. I said I would go to eat salad every day if I could eat steak.
Check that out with a pita convention, man. Let's see how that goes with it.
Yeah, they have to find me.
So if it has no surroundings, it's deemed salad.
Right.
So this is the cube rule here. I've got it pulled up so that
Welcome
we
to
can...
Don't Be So Brewed, where the hosts look at their phone.
So toast.
Podcast.
It's a podcast. They don't
It's just
know.
a
They
perk.
know.
The video's a perk.
It's a bonus. So toast, sandwich, taco, sushi, super salad, calzone, which we skip, by the way. Guess what falls under calzone?
Deep dish pizza.
A corn dog.
Does it really?
Yes.
Entirely enclosed. So a Pop-Tart is technically a calzone.
So a pizza pocket's a calzone, right?
Yes, it would have to be. It's enclosed.
A
So is a
pierogi
burrito.
would be a calzone. A ravioli would be a calzone.
So is a burrito.
a burrito.
Because it's fully enclosed as long as you fold it up like that.
Entirely.
Jason, I got an important question while Scott's looking at this. What's the proper way to eat a corn dog? We like to ask our guests this.
With your mouth.
Do you chew? Do you chew?
I eat it like Trump eats a pizza, with a fork and a knife.
Oh my gosh.
Do you pull the stick out before you go? Or what do you do?
Only a little bit is needed.
So if you watched the
As we
Facebook
move
Live
down.
video of Dr. A and B with some important questions last night, I also knew what was coming. How do you open a banana?
Yeah. That's one of my favorite ones.
Oh yeah, dude.
Did you see me open the banana?
No.
He pulled a Scott.
I did.
From the
I was.
bottom?
No, he did it from the middle.
I just broke it in half.
So the debate is, do you open up a banana from the top or the bottom? And someone grabbed a banana, so I gave it to Jason. I was like, all right, Jason, you're on. And he just snaps it in half.
He taps me on the shoulder, makes me turn around, and he's like, "Here, open this." And I was like, "Okay."
Jason's going to settle the debate right now. I'm like, I'll give it to him. We'll see how he wants to open it. And he...
All right. So
Just
I
cracked
found
it in the middle, and
I think there's a flaw here.
all right, show us,
All
sharpshooter.
right. So toast, they identify pumpkin pie. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Taco, they identify a slice of pie.
Well, but it
And
has.
then quiche, they identify key lime pie. So how does that work exactly?
The external crust is the one that I am conflicted with.
I'm
on
pretty
calling
sure that-
pumpkin pie
So
a
like if we
toast.
put whipped cream on pumpkin pie, it becomes a quiche?
No, then technically pumpkin pie would have to be a quiche as well because it's saying it's surrounded on all sides, but the top is open. So I can agree with that and the fact that
perhaps they're going by a piece of pumpkin
No,
pie.
but they're just showing slices.
No, the key
Oh,
lime.
you're saying like
They
as it's
do
together, it's a
yeah,
quiche.
as it's
but
a
it
whole
says
pie.
there, a slice of deep dish pizza, right? Or does
But it
say
shows
deep
the
dish?
deep dish pizza. That's interesting. There's like some
Ooh.
there's some points
So look,
there where
if you-
something changes as you
If you
eat it.
started the cube theory, please reach out to Don't Be So Brewed podcast because
Yeah,
we have a
tell
lot
us
of
what's
questions
up.
for you.
And then a calzone, of course, is a Pop-Tart also. So it's not only a ravioli.
I'm going to
it's
leave my
also a
questions
Pop-Tart.
for them so that way we can They can report to me on that.
And a pie, if it's covered.
Yeah, as long as it has, like a pot
top
pie.
crust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also an apple pie would be like that too until you cut it open. So that's the thing. There's some crossover. There's some holes in this.
I do like
but
that
overall,
steak and mashed potatoes can be a soup, though. I'm all on board with this. I'm going out.
Oh yeah, poutine is an option because it's like, listen, it has no parameters on the outside of it, so therefore it's a salad.
Right, spaghetti.
I know. I think I'm living my life eating salads from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is my diet, right? Steak, mashed potatoes, fried rice, spaghetti. I don't do much poutine, but I do eat fries and soup.
What if
Poutine's good.
Soup is considered a wet salad.
Do you think I can claim vegetarianism?
Poutine or poontang?
Oh,
Either one. Both good.
Sure.
I hope you guys heard that. I'm not even gonna bring it back.
Well, Zul said poutine or poontang.
No good. Pootie
I
tang.
mean, I'm sure both go good with fries.
Speaking of, you guys need to look up the commercial where they talk about tang, and it's like every young boy needs some tang. Why is that funny? It's a mom, and she's like, make sure you get your tang.
your tang.
So this is funny. So they identified pizza, sushi, and pumpkin pie slice as toast, but they identified toast as a sandwich.
Well, you'd have to have 2 layers of toast.
I think there's some man, this is weird.
It is weird. I mean, it's
All right.
published, so it's official.
Somebody spent a lot of time on that, though. I mean,
Seriously.
public. That was our argument last night. We're like, it's on the internet.
it's-
so
it's
Thanks for
published,
taking that time that I'm not getting back. I really appreciate that, and you're all
Thanks
welcome
for coming
that
out.
time suck as well.
listen, Jason, I got one more question for you. Since you brought this up earlier, I meant to bring it back, and I never did. Who wins in a fight? The Rock or 3 Mark Zuckerbergs?
Hands down the Rock. Hands down the Rock.
So hang on, Zul, you know which one's which?
I don't remember.
I brought him over just like that, so whatever
I think
was
I
set
can
up.
tell which one's
I
which
think I
right
can
now.
tell.
I know, that's why I'm thinking too. That's why I'm going to have to close, and you're just going to have to pass me one randomly. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to see if I can determine the difference between tap water. If you hand me the same one twice, I'm going to be like, knowing you guys, I'll be like, here, set it
And then
down,
hand him
and
his
bring it back.
coffee, and then hand him his other one.
Right.
All right, you got your
So
eyes
basically, I'm
closed?
going to try to tell the difference here between tap water and bottled water.
You ready?
Hand them to me. Do not try
Close-
to give me a drink. I
close
can
your
already,
eyes.
I can already tell by the look on your
I
face.
see the face splash coming. Like,
Ready?
Yeah.
Zool, none of this
Put
stuff's
it in my hand.
expensive, is it?
Ready?
Just put it in my hand, Scott. Ooh, that's a good size, Scott. Congratulations.
That's a manly size. Don't
too
spit it
manly
out.
for
You
that.
gotta swallow. What are you doing? No, you can't double dip.
I can do whatever I want. Okay, give me the other one.
What's the
Welcome
other
to
one?
the Wine World Taste Test.
A. or
Don't be
B?
so brewed.
TikTok.
The second one is the bottled water.
That's right.
Stand up and
So was the first one.
Did you give me the same one?
I did.
I knew it. I was like, I think he handed me the same one, and I'm like, I'm just gonna roll with this because I think this is exactly what he did. It's almost like I predicted it before it happened.
It's like you might have even said it before it happened. I don't know. I mean, you can see just looking at it. There's a lot more hair in this guy. If you're gonna drink from that side, because
The one that has your
no.
mouth print on it.
his lipstick
around
on
from
it.
my mouth side. I wanted it to look like you actually drank from that cup.
Left his lipstick on it.
I mean, that's not bad water, so it would be hard to tell. It really would. I think it's one of those things where obviously it's the marketing. I get it. It's one of those things. I'm totally subject to that too, as we all are. So you heard it here, guys. We don't know shit.
It's pretty much the same. It's
Right?
pretty much the same. I mean, this might have a little bit more mineral taste to it, but
Actually, I teabagged that one.
Oh, perfect. That was quick.
Glad I stayed out of the water challenge.
I'm
thought
too
I saw
manly
it.
for that.
I'm
damn
too
it.
manly for that to drink that water. I take it back.
I think it was both bottled water. He just shook one up before he dumped it in there.
You know what's
but it's-
funny
but
is
it's
Scott
been
wouldn't
sitting
admit
for a
it,
while.
but the thing that he's into is actually bath bombs. He just doesn't want anyone to know that.
I haven't done them. My kids do it. I don't even take baths. Can you believe
Kids
that?
do it.
Kids do it.
I'm doing air quotes over here, guys. His kids do it, of course. He's never been curious enough to do that.
I've
I'm
had
too
a
manly for
wonder
that.
of what the fascination is on it.
Okay, if there's one thing, I like getting massages, but I don't know if that's a female thing or what.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Doesn't
I
count.
like that.
That doesn't count. All right, Jason, would you like to plug anything? Because this is now your moment, your time. If people would like to, if you want people to go follow you on anything, they can. I mean, I know you were a viral sensation a few years ago, so.
Oh yeah, we're talking before YouTube had a redo. They actually deleted my video on it. I was a Korean Batman.
Don't tell the whole story. We'll have to bring you back on. People are gonna love this.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
That's how we do it. We tease it.
So yeah,
Just the tip of that story is all I need, Jason.
and I'm really boring on the social media platforms.
But you might not be soon because you might be doing a lot more Dr. A videos.
Just because I'm replaying Dr. B videos, probably. So
Perfect.
Mystery Dr. A Theater.
right, I'm gonna.
So if there's anything you would like
get
to,
it.
You know what we should do? We should just play his videos, and we could just voice over our comments.
Like
Wouldn't that be fun?
like that Asian obstacle course TV show that used to be on years ago.
Right.
Right? Yeah, with
That-
the American
so
announcers.
you just silence the video and
No,
you.
I'm thinking like a Mystery Science Theater, where we sit there and we have his video going, and we just make funny comments about him while he's doing it.
do it.
get it.
I think
Get
we
it on
should
a
do
big
it.
screen with our silhouettes in it, and just like then critique him on it.
Hanging out, you know?
Like, oh man, he should know that's not a good angle for him right there. There's a double chin going on really bad.
It's like
What is he doing
it's like
with his
he looks
hands?
really tired.
Why is he doing
Why is he
that?
making people bend over like that? That's so weird. And they're paying him? This is crazy. I mean,
They are.
we should
It's a
totally.
unique
I'm
model.
down. Are you down?
I'm totally
I'm available
down.
next week.
I was gonna say both of you have been down for both of those things.
That
I'm
might
too
be the
manly for
most.
that.
Might be the most female thing I've done is bend over at your office.
A lot.
A lot.
Staying out of that conversation.
I was gonna say everyone in this room has done that. This guy recently.
I'd say I don't get in enough.
I'm Zool and I approve this message. Jason, you got nothing? You don't want anybody to go follow you on anything? If you don't, it's fine.
No, I'm good.
just trying to give Scott a moment here. I know he's got nothing.
Oh, I've got it.
Oh my gosh, he's got it. All right, Scott.
What I want to know is what website he goes to for this.
Oh, just random, whatever shows up on the day. All right, you ready?
I was about to say, all right, Scott,
I
it's
got
time
two.
for your-
I
it's
got
time-
two, just in case you guys know the answers to these.
Oh, they're questions?
They're jokes.
Oh, okay.
They're dad
It's-
jokes, you know, and
It's
mixing
all
it
right.
up a little bit.
All right, Scott. It's
So
time
ready?
for your
Here we
final
go.
thoughts.
Here we
30-second
go.
skip. Start now.
How does a penguin build its house?
It glues.
It glues it together. See?
Dad joke champion right here.
Dad joke. Well, why did the coffee file a police report? It got mugged.
Ooh.
You want more? There's like 40 of them here.
I'm Dr. Brandon Brown, and unfortunately, I have to approve that message.
Phenomena. Phenomena. Phenomena.